Hello everyone and welcome back. We are getting closer to potentially the final game of the Into the Arcane Tactician's Crown. I think it's going to be wild. We've got 3 players that are at that check mark now. So as we head into the next game, I think all eyes on Dishsoap, Lucas, and Jedusor to see if they can find that first place they need to actually get that Tactician's Crown win. Well, as we enter into the convergence for potentially the final time, we'll see. There is no encounter for us for this game.
Dishsoap taking tower defense, opting into trying to find something that allows him to cap very high. Now, I will say, Firelight's a weird one. Traditionally, you're going to be playing around the Zeri, right, and slamming the Rage Blade. This is most likely what it's going to be.
Dishsoap may be considering taking a page out of Lucas's book, trying to play into the Zeri reroll potentially. We'll see that that'll be the case. He has already slammed the Rage Blade here. It can still be Twitch, which we just saw from Dish last game. Dishsoap, who is on the +1 Firelight, gets the Echo. The defenders are not on the field in this Stage 3 carousel, considering Dishsoap is one of those players in check right now.
We did see Dish's board. He was not playing the kind of standard Scar on the board.
Yes, a pair and a Garen. Pretty insane chop here for Dishsoap.
Well, maybe that's why you're not playing the Scar now.
Well, we do really want to get a Scar on this board as soon as we can, though. It does actually make quite a difference. You can just drop the Darius, for instance. You don't have to use a remover to get the Redemption off as well. But I think Dish needs to, he's got to play conservatively a little bit, right? You can't dig too early because it's not about hitting your board, it's about out-capping the lobby.
Huge contrast. High tempo start for Lucas and Dishsoap from the Americas. And then we have the delayed start. Stage 4 will be the big spike for both of the EMEA players in case of Davesic and Jedusor. So Stage 4 too, especially on those roll downs, eyes on EMEA to see what they can do, what they can put together on that pivotal round.
Not facing each other though.
No, on the other side of Dishsoap, it's playing against that Tristan. I believe that's Fishbone's IE on it as well, so has a way to access the back line. We can see some attacks already going through. No ults on the Zeri, though, so Zeri relatively safe. It's more just a question of which front line's going to hold up, and Dishsoap's looking okay.
On the flip side, also Tristana on the side of Bio, I believe, who may just be using Tristana as a tempo option.
And this is Dishsoap's board. He's playing very slow, you can see. Still staying above 50, wants to ensure, and he's even holding the Silcos to make sure that Lucas doesn't find some sort of backdoor Silco 3. But Dishsoap recognizes, if I want to win this lobby, I cannot just play the traditional way of reroll, spiking hard, bleeding out into a third. I have to find a way to actually go first. He's doing that off the back of playing slowly, finding the Zeris as they come to him, keeping his gold over 50.
Ironbog, though, we finally get a chance to check back in with his board. He's got a Jinx already. Took the Slammin' augment. You're going to be getting so much more experience, and this is really where Ironbog likes to play.
Keeps rolling, trying to get 2 series away here. Finds one more, so only one missing here for Dishsoap. Important to get now the tempo up before the anomaly.
He still wants to just relax, take it slow. I do wonder how much of this is also coming off the back of the fact that he doesn't have the Gunblade, and so he doesn't have a way of consistently healing both the Zeri and his front line. That is typically one of the win conditions, because in the late game, your Zeri is going to be subject to so much splash damage. Dishsoap picked up the Experiment emblem from the carousel. I don't know if he had the Warwick already, but now he's able to play Firelight Warwick. And it's down to just 3. 2 of the 3 remaining in check can win. Depending on how this goes, this might actually be the last fight if somebody loses to somebody's ghost.
Does Lilo have what it takes to save the lobby, to play the defense that was promised, to force a Game 6, to stop Americas from winning yet another TAC crown?
We don't have a Gunblade on this Zeri, so splash damage can be detrimental. We can see Dishsoap up against the ghost. It's going to be the right-hand side. We're going to see Lilo up against Lucas. See who is winning against the 2 real boards.
Oh, the Tristana. She's just doing massive amounts of damage with those cannonballs, but isn't actually targeting down that Silco that's in the back. She's stuck on that target in the front line, but now those balls are starting to bounce around.
Lucas is going to take a hit here. Lucas will fall, and Dishsoap wins the clone fight on the left-hand side. It means it's going to be Lilo and Dishsoap 1v1, one fighting to end the tournament and one fighting to keep it alive.
2 set champion winners here, Lilo versus Dishsoap. Lilo with the possibility of elonging this championship into another game, and Dishsoap with a win can be crowned for a second time a Tactician Crown Champion.
And we thought Dishsoap would not have a way to cap this board high enough, but with Experiment +1, with 2 Firelight Emblems on a Warwick of all things.
Third item on the Warwick now, picks up a Bloodthirster. On the left-hand side, how are we spiking our board, making some small changes?
We had a quirky one.
I said small changes.
But can that Tristana actually get the executes, the targeting, right?
Edge of Night onto the Zeri to make sure she's able to survive just a little bit longer. No Gunblade, but Edge of Night might just do the job.
And Besa with the Giant Slayer, so important to break through the front line here of Dishsoap. Final fight.
It's all about where this Tristana is going to be ulting. Keep your eyes on it. She's starting to ramp up. Another cast comes through, both on Darius. The Zeri is completely untouched. The Victor comes through, buying time for Dishsoap right now. And the front line is holding up.
Warwick is down. Tristana's down as well on the side of Lilo.
Dishsoap takes the match and wins the Set 13 championship. Playing around the Zarya line that we have not seen find first places all weekend long. Lucas does it at the beginning, Dishsoap does it at the end, and Dishsoap not only makes history with 4 consecutive set championships, but he joins title among the stars with 2 Tacticians crowns.
Cannot believe it. Congratulations to Dishsoap winning the Tactician's crown, and we get a chance to see him join that history in such an elite group of players. Somebody that just a couple of sets ago had not had a win at all, and now he comes through with a second Tactician's crown. Unbelievable.
What an insane run from Dishsoap, the best player in day 2, ramping into this day 3, and did not take his foot off of the gas throughout all of today. Lucas as well, both players 1 and 2 throughout almost every single game today.
When you look at where Dishsoap has come in the last couple of years, you look back nearly 1 calendar year to the day, and he is a winless player. He is a player that everybody knows is great by perception, but he doesn't have any accolades to prove it.
Yeah.
And when he finds his first win at the Set 10 regional finals, it feels like the story just changes and flips on its head, and he's gone from a winless player to the winningest player in North American history, representing the Americas, joining the most elite in the world, and now he's among the stars. I mean, it just feels like, what has happened in the last year of TFT that we have deserved such a beautiful story and a beautiful champion in Dishsoap? Congratulations to Dishsoap for this amazing moment.
And we have that perfect player online with us now. Dishsoap, can you hear us? Congratulations. Please tell us what's going through your head right now, besides the Tactician's crown, of course.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how the second one's going to fit, but I don't know. Last time, I couldn't even form any thoughts together because it was genuinely such a shock to me. But I don't know. This time, I kind of believed in myself all the way through, and it's just satisfaction for getting a job done. I expected to come in here and win. I felt super confident before I came in, and I feel like I proved it.
I mean, when we got a chance to actually talk to you just even a couple sets ago when you had won, I think being able to see your progress from then to now, I feel like we really have seen you become this more confident player, and it's great to see. Dishsoap, you put in the hard work, you put in the effort, and so talk to us a little bit about where you feel like you've really found your edge amongst the competition in the last couple of sets.
I mean, you can yap all in all, like, I can yap about, like, my preparation and stuff, and I usually end up knowing the lines better than other people, but I genuinely think, at, like, this Worlds in particular, you might not feel it that way if you, like, watch my stream, but I genuinely think my mental edge was way above the competition. I know, like, I end up venting and raging on stream somewhat, but the way I did it, or the way I told myself I was going to do it, is I was, like, allowing myself to vent a few minutes after every game, but I was never going to, like, do it in-game when I was alive. And, I don't know, I felt like I stayed super calm, played really well. I don't know, I got really, really tilted from, like, a bug that happened, like, in the previous game, but, I don't know, I bounced back from that. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is cathartic in a sense, right? You let those frustrations out and then you lock back in and you get ready for the game. And I think looking back even just at that last game as an example, I think you did have a spot where you could have won the whole thing in 4 games. And so, you know, talk about a little bit more about that mental edge, because even just yesterday looking at the first place rate throughout the weekend, nobody coming into this final lobby had a high number of first rates, and I think you might have only had 1 or 2 games in there. So, you know, where do you flip the switch and turn it on for this final day?
This meta is terrible for trying to win games. No, the meta is good. You might have cut me off there. The meta is good. The meta is terrible if you want to go into a game and win, because Kim Baron is really, really unbeatable if it doesn't get griefed. So I think the people that did well, actually somewhat avoided the Kim Baron because it was griefed substantially throughout the cup, or not throughout the crown or whatever. And you saw, most people there were just playing for top 4s and then not taking random 8s from people that will just full open your Kim.
Yeah, we saw that in a couple of games. I think it was always going to be a little bit tough maybe to play the Kim Baron, especially in this checkmate type format. So did you know, sort of heading into this, I don't know if I can touch the Kim Baron for the final day. I just got to focus on the other lines that are available.
Oh yeah, 100%. The plan always was to play my standard top 4 tempo-based game plan, and then in the final game, I knew if I played any kind of lose streak line, I would just be super contested, super griefed. So I knew I had to play from ahead no matter what.
So in the final game, you pick tower defense as your first augment, and you get Firelight. So immediately what's going through your head when you see that that's what you have to play around?
I'm a little concerned because I don't usually think Zeri caps very high. Somehow that game was managed to pull it through with the +2 emblem and stuff. But yeah, the thing is I had Rage Blade and I'd Watcher Frontline set up already, so it made sense to me. It's just I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to pull out a win. Yeah.
I think we were looking at that too, and maybe hoping if there's going to be anybody that gets a chance to show us what to do from this spot, it's certainly you. And I think you've cemented yourself as one of those players that people have looked at around the world for getting tech or learning. I mean, I attribute a lot of my growth in TFT also to looking at TFT Academy, so thank you for that, Dishsoap. But I think, but you know, when you look towards maybe this set as a whole, what have you enjoyed the most about playing Into the Arcane?
I mean, this has definitely been one of the more balanced sets. I would have liked it a lot. I think most people think Kim Baron's broken now, but I've always been on the Kim Baron was broken forever train. I think if that trait was different, if it was more fun or if it was a bit weaker, I would have enjoyed it more. But I think for me, the main thing about the set that was very enjoyable was the balance. I think the patches were actually pretty good in general.
Dish, I have one quick question for you. You know, there's something that we see, especially in traditional sports, there's something where sometimes it takes a long time for a record to be broken, but once it's broken, it feels like it keeps being broken. And I feel like set 10, you winning regionals, is your canon event. Because something happened there, and now ever since then, it feels like all of your results have just come. I imagine that has to do something with confidence and believing in yourself. Can you just speak to that? How much did that set 10 win at the regional finals impact all of the success you've seen since then?
Oh, I mean, as soon as I won that tournament, I just never really second-guessed myself that much anymore. But before that, I would always second-guess myself. I thought that I was just a ladder warrior because that's what people just said. And then it was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. But after I won and I felt like I won it in the way I wanted to, it gave me a lot of confidence that I've just carried through the whole time. I mean, some people call it ego. It is what it is. I feel like I've earned it.
Dishsoap, first, congratulations, man. You played amazing. I see you wearing the crown. Now you will get 2 crowns. So you like wearing it and it looks great on you. Are you thinking of taking it outside also? Make it do a photo session or using it in other places? You can change it. You have to.
Maybe a photo session when the second one comes, but I'm not gonna lie, it's not very comfortable. I don't really wear it that often, but yeah.
Well, you're going to have to make sure you get a really nice trophy cabinet behind you, especially for when you stream and everything else like that. But Dishsoap, we want to let you go celebrate. Before we do that, though, any shout-outs?
I want to shout out like the main NA player I talked to. I wouldn't say we really prepped together, but we ended up like venting to each other a lot throughout all the scrims. He's a really nice guy. I wanted to shout out Prestivent. I think what happened to him, not making the final lobby, is a disgrace, and I think Riot needs to do more due diligence in that situation, is all I'll say. But I want to shout out him. He's a really cool dude. He deserved to be here.
Well, Dishsoap, thank you so much for joining us to celebrate your win, and we wish you all of the best to go celebrate with your friends as well as your stream and your family. So, Dishsoap, congratulations! You did it!
Thank you, thank you.
Two-time Tactician Crown winner, and maybe in that top of the conversation to be the GOAT of TFT.